What is up, guys? It's me, Crashy, and today you're going to be watching a pretty quick gameplay. You can already tell by the title. I'm going to be talking about for Overwatch hero limit versus non-hero limit. Now, this is kind of covering pubs and competitive. I think it's just important that this game be pretty stable across the board. So any competitive settings they use, I think, should also be the same settings for pubs. So again, not going to be a long video, but I have talked about this and debated it a lot with other people, and I just want to share my point of view on the game. With and without a hero limit. So just to say, I've played a lot of pubs. It's all just kind of random chaos, and that doesn't really matter with this discussion as much. But the only thing that does translate about this discussion into pubs is the fact that whatever game we're playing, or like whatever mode you're playing, the rules should all be the same. It's Overwatch. It's all one game. So, with that being said, I am an advocate for a one hero limit per team in Overwatch, and that mostly being competitive, but just in general in Overwatch. And what that means is that when you go to select your hero in Overwatch, you can only have one of each hero per team. So there's no banning, there's nothing like that. That's a kind of a common misconception whenever we go to talk about this topic. It really just has to do with, hey, we want a McCree on our team. Well, the game, the settings, in my opinion, should restrict you to only having one McCree. Now, why do I want to do this? And this is the biggest topic about why I think it's good versus what happens when you don't have it on. For one, I just want to go ahead and talk about why I think it's good. Why I think it's good, there are heroes in this game that are stronger than others. The game has a 21 hero roster, I believe, and there are some specific heroes that are just very, very strong. The constant kind of, what's it called, example I'll use throughout this is McCree. And it's very relevant because McCree is probably the most overpowered hero in the game right now. Maybe. I mean, he's the easiest to pick up and learn. He's very, very strong. He's debatably one of the most OP characters in the game. And you will see in a double hero or in a no hero limit scrim or competitive game, you will see consistently double McCree picked. Now, why is that? I mean, there's so much that McCree can do. He can control the Reinhardt shield by stunning over it. He can roll in the backlines and focus pick a target. And when you have two of those, you get two stun grenades, and it just gets so hectic. I mean, he's an amazingly strong hit scan character without his ultimate, without the stun grenade. And, I mean, Fan the Hammer is just ridiculous. And so the ability to just burst and really control the fight with two McCrees is just ridiculous. Now, I'm going to go on ahead and add this because I think it's relevant as well. In King of the Hill, it's just that much worse with multiple hero limits. If you go and look at some competitive gameplay, there's basically a really, really frustrating composition that people will run. There's variations of it where you run double Winston, double Tracer, double Lucio, or double Winston, double McCree, double Lucio. And the reason being is it's just fast. The whole thing is fast. You're dropping shields all over the place. The Winstons are doing damage and knocking people back. The Lucios are flying all around doing damage and healing. And either the Tracer or McCrees are doing their role as well. And it's something that you were seeing pretty consistently coming from the competitive scene. It's just, there's just absolutely no hero variation when it goes to the upper level of play with multiple hero levels, or multiple hero limits, because yeah, sure, people will come out with ways to, you know, create comps and counter and stuff like that, but the majority of the heroes that are going to be being played are going to be the same strong heroes. So like I said, McCree, Winston, you see a little bit of defense on payload maps with double Widow, which is not usually a big problem, even though Widow is a very strong, kind of overpowered character right now. But there's just, I don't know, I just think ultimately it's just not the way that I want to see this game go with multiple hero limits like that, with no hero limit, multiple heroes being selected. It just makes the game less enjoyable to watch. And with all that being said, that's not even my biggest issue with it. So here's my biggest issue with it. I believe that whatever settings Blizzard and these tournament organizers decide to take, it needs to be what's best for the game. And to me, one thing in esports that I think is super important is building out storylines. Coming from MOBAs specifically, I talk about how one reason I really hated, if anybody knows my background, I really hated Coast City, even though it was the better map on Infinite Crisis, was because it allowed for two junglers. So my storyline as being a strong jungler kind of got diluted a little bit. It wasn't gone, it was still there, but it was diluted a little bit. But that's not even the biggest issue. On this game, I really fear for the storylines if you allow multiple heroes. The reason being, you know, everybody can be good at McCree. if you are a top team, if you're a strong team, and you have 2 good DPS players on your roster, and you're putting both of them on McCree, well, guess what? No one's going to care which ones, you know, like, when you go to think about Cloud9, like, oh man, Cloud9's McCree player is so good. Well, then you kind of have to think about, well, which one? It creates this disconnect. This disconnect from storylines, this disconnect from this awesome story and experience that you could give to the viewers by creating a scenario where they know that Cloud9's McCree player is like, he's a god, you know what I mean? And I fear for that more than I do for the game's balance, because it's ultimately whatever Blizzard wants to make the game be. But truly, I do fear for that, and that I think is the biggest issue. If you have, you know, these crazy strategies that are all super overpowered, that's one thing, and it's really hard to deal with double Winston. It's really hard to deal with some of these double stacks, but I really fear for the storylines of the game and having someone be known as an amazingly strong McCree player, for example. Now, obviously, I do think you'll still see that. I do think you'll still see those players that stick out, but it will definitely dilute. So it wouldn't get rid of the storylines, it wouldn't get rid of those awesome plays that are still bound to happen, but overall I just think it would be a better viewing experience. I think it's better for game balance just from what I've played, and I think it'll help really grow the game as an esport with storylines. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I do appreciate it. Please do not forget to leave without leaving a like. Comment below with your thoughts on the matter, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, take it easy.